going to start, just because it's a good place to start, gesture drawing our with the vase. So oh, I actually brought B pencils out so that you would be able to see. So nice strong lines for the vase whenever you're looking at it, especially if it's a glass vase, which this is. I want you to do your rectangle, make it into the slant, and then you can really just start to measure from where the bottom, the top, and then up again. The flowers are way up here somewhere. So this is where the buds are. Just count the buds or count the open flowers that you have. Think about these guys will be moving, they'll be closer to you than the ones at the back. They're facing away. Some are fully in view, others are on their side. So those are the top of the flowers in this gestural type drawing to begin with. And then we're going to bring down. And again, these will be thicker than the ones at the back. Now I'm doing this a gestural strong, but there's a wee bit more in it because I know a lot of you will be using just this and this alone. So here we have, and then at the bottom there's always a bit of crisscross. Doesn't matter if it gets a bit more chaotic down at the bottom. So with roses they can be tricky, right? I cannot even, icing sugar that for you. They are tricky, but the best way I think to look at a rose is nearly like a swirl. I know that that's very, very basic, but if you do it like it is just layers on top of layers, and some are big, then there's always a wee bit and they're kept inside. So let's do that. The way that this works right now is you will see from the image you can only really see one or two that are open. So there's your little swirl to begin with. And then we've got a petal at the back. Number one. What you can do then is just add on the wee bottom bits. There we go. Same with here. This one you can see from the side. And then the swirl is in the middle. Just like that. We have, here we go, same with here, and every one is different, so you can see this is a good way of showing this bit here. So we have little bits coming up, crinkly, you don't really get to see the swirl's right in the middle. Move this down. Now this one at the back is quite a large one, but again, it's petal, petal, and then that's where it goes there. And then you really, you start to get a feel for it. Now I have made them really large, and this is a bit off. The size is a bit wrong in that, but that's okay, because if it was meant to be a total gesture, we would be here, 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 and here, just like that. That would be our second gesture, whereas this is actually with the view to what we will put over to the other side of our sketchbook and paint. Okay, enjoy all the lines, all the petals. Where are they? Some of them today anyway, the way I'm sitting, are hitting the light, so some are lovely and light. Others, all you can really see are the green bits underneath. Same here. You don't see anything but that. Then here again, layer over, layer over. Bring that one up. There we go. So they start to get fussier and you get more, once the same with leaves. So down here, I haven't done any of the leaves at all, but there are many leaves on this. I would normally trim off the bottom. No, I didn't, but here is to show you. So, the leaves are not, the way children often draw flowers is we have, flower on the top, and then you have the leaf and the leaf. But we will see leaves that are like this. We will see leaves that are like that. We will see leaves that we're only seeing on the side. So take that into account. It's just different shapes. So some of them will look like the kids' shapes. Others you will get a full leaf. And I'm using a B pencil. Whatever pencil you're using, you can just nice and lightly go over it. And some of them are going to be big leaves. But they are jaggy as well around. So you can make them so. Some of them come right down into the vase. There we go. And it's hard to distinguish then what is what. So if you were to use, now I grabbed that thinking that was a 2B. And then I just have my regular light pencil. If you have variation of pencils, then it is good to use those. I love a B, hence I grabbed all 3 pencils, which are all Bs. Now, I have my things beside me. And no, I had a 2B, but my sons are now using them as well. So, but either way, a light one and a dark one. I could actually just use this. Like, this is just a regular one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fill in where the leaves are. And what this will do, where the leaves are and where the stalks are. And then what that does is it reduces the overwhelm that you might feel when you look at flowers and whenever you have your flower drawing done. Because what it does, even though you're nice and lightly filling this in, what you're also doing is you're creating space. So here we have space, space, space. And if you're drawing anything at home like this where it's quite busy in areas, just take out the busyness by doing this. Fill in something all the same colour, similar colour, even though there will be variations when you see it. But what that's doing there is it feels like, okay, right, I can kind of see now. So what I'm going to do here is add in a few more leaves. So look at what you've got. Here's another leaf here. It's just not being scared by the lines that you've first of all planted. And also adding in so that it's actually realistic. And then what you can do with that, with your dark pencil, is to go over where those lines are. So then again, you're creating more space because you're going to give them formation here. And so some leaves are flat and full. Some leaves are on their side. And then what you can do with that is take it right up and start to fill in those little bits that hug around the petals. So this is still gestural in a way. I want you to keep the energy. Don't get too stuck in the detail. It's very easy to do with flowers. There we go. And then you can start to define where those are. They're nearly going like 3, like that, like they're sort of cupping the petals. Now, when you've done that, look and see in between, in where the spaces are, there'll be light, very, very stark light, where you'll see a little bit of the original light, but there will also be dark. So look and see where the dark is. You can just choose it at random if you like. And when you choose it, look at the shape. What shape is it? Everything is in a shape. What is the angle that you see? I can see here there's a petal on one side and none on the other. What is it you can see? There's a here, there's a shadow on this one, but not on the other. Here, the same. So, again, starts to piece together. So down here, there's quite a lot. Yours might not look like that. Yours might be different because the light depending on how I'm going to photograph it for Boone. There we go. You can also choose one side of the stem stalks that you would like to be the darkest. So then every side of that, it's a very basic move, but you know, if you're doing, you know, here's, I don't know, a tree or something here, and the light is coming here, well then this side is going to be your darkest. So same way here, you can do the same if you want to really simplify. And then lastly, for our lovely roses. Now, I would encourage you to sharpen your pencil. I had a red sharpener sitting here earlier. Did I do that? Well, I'm using my dark one, but I might use the light because you can use your light pencil or your dark pencil. I'll use the dark, but if you can sharpen yours, do that. Let's go for the bottom of the vase. So this is a glass vase here we have, and the way that the light is hitting it, it will cut into all different shapes. But rather than do that, what you can do is just like a block flooring on it. Okay, and then that starts to separate as well. So you can see there, you can have a little bit underneath if you like. On the side too. Whichever side you've chosen for the light to be in. The way the glass often works is it'll still be dark anyway because of the flowers coming down onto it. But as you can see, it starts to come together. So now for the roses, look at how dark they are on the inside. We'll bring this one out again. Right in the middle, look, there's a really clear example of that. Here we have dark, and we've got very dark here, and then those little layers in the inside. Just let's simplify it. That's our biggie one really there at the front. So I'm going to go right in, and then we're nearly swirling out, but you are crinkling it rather than a swirly gig like that we had. You're sort of crinkling it over and over, and then we're going to fold one petal here, going to fold the other up here, and I'm going to fill that in. Rather than being as chaotic as here, I'm going to try and smooth this one. Same with here, and I'm just adjusting. I've leaned slightly heavier over here and lighter on here, and then lighter again in here. And slightly darker on one layer, lighter on the other. There we are. Now, you can't tell that it's a yellow flower, obviously, but you can still see where the formation is, and you can just keep going over. This is where you want you to spend a little bit more time, because when the petals go like that, still along here nearly at the arm of the petal is where there is darkness, so that the very top of it can be nice and crisp and light. Right, so we'll leave that one for now, and then we'll go over here to this one. The way that this one is working for me anyway as I draw is mostly dark on the bottom, and then just nice and light and feathery at the top. even though this one is facing down, this petal still seems to be lighter. What you can do then is just where the petals meet, go over that a little bit. Now, rather than do the centre bit there is no real centre, very defined bit, but there is like almost like a bird. You know the way they would draw the birds, old school, when we're doing that over a beach scene or something with children. Same way here, there's little V's. And even though you're not being really defined, you're still adding detail. The lovely thing about a B pencil is that it's a soft pencil, so it will, you can really smooth out the lines. So what I want you to do is continue that all along. I will do the same. And then that's your pencil one. So really what you're doing is you're doing the outline, and you are figuring out, so the buds, flowers, the stalks, the leaves, and the vase. And then everything else you fill in. But what that'll do is it'll give you an understanding of light and shade. You can refer to the image that I will take now, so that the light just kind of stopped coming in here. But even I would see where my leaves, where I would rather they are a little bit more defined, even if they just have a center line in them as well. I'm sure there's a proper name for that. Feel free to tell me what it is. And then the bottom of your base. But I want you to fill in the rest of those so that you fill in your whole piece. I'll not take you through each one, because, well, I could do actually, but because I love doing it, but I feel like it's kind of boring watching me do it. Hopefully you will see those skills of the center bit, and then the overlapping of the petals, using the softer pencil if you can. If all you have is one pencil, this is totally doable with that. And then thinking about our leaves,